Boys and girls, I would like to start this lesson by saying Happy Thanksgiving! We're only a few short days away from celebrating everything that we are thankful for. I am thankful for my students and reading class. So let's just jump right on in. Here are our objectives for reading class this week. We are learning to describe the overall structure of events, ideas, concepts, or information in a text or part of a text. Structure of a text could be chronology or sequence, comparison, cause and effect, and problem and solution. Another objective of ours is to learn to determine the meaning of general, academic, and domain-specific words or phrases in a text relevant to a grade 4 topic or subject area. We're really just going to be focusing on some vocabulary words that we see in our text this week. Let's take a look at our text, titled, There's More Than One Way. But before I read, I want to draw your attention to some thinking marks that we can use. Good readers mark up the text to help deepen their understanding and to prompt them to think deeper about the text. Maybe you'll come across something super important that you should star, or even circle because it's a key word or detail. Maybe there's something you don't understand and might need to put an X near it because you don't understand it, or a question because you want to ask something about it. You can underline words that are unfamiliar and that you're trying to determine the meaning of. Maybe you put an exclamation point next to something super interesting that you didn't know before. And finally, you can use an arrow to show areas that you can connect with the text or have something in common with the text. If you are learning remotely, you can use these thinking marks on Google Classroom as you listen to me read to the text. Ms. Pipitone's Cohort B kids received a paper copy of this text on Friday. Check your once a week folder to use a paper copy. It might be easier for you to follow along with. Pause right here and go grab that paper. Are you guys ready to read the text? There's more than one way. Let's jump on in. People in the United States eat over 50 million turkeys each year during Thanksgiving. How you cook your turkey might make it taste different than someone else's. There are many ways to cook a turkey. However, roasting, frying, and smoking are some of the most popular. What is the topic of this text? Sounds like the topic of this text is to learn many methods of cooking a turkey. I see some key words that help me understand that. You can roast a turkey, fry a turkey, or even smoke a turkey. I can see that there's definitely more than one way to cook a turkey, and I'm going to learn about them throughout this text. Let's jump on in. Paragraph 2. Roasting a turkey in the oven is the most common way to cook it. Roasting is popular because it's easy. You only need an oven and a roasting pan. To roast a turkey, preheat the oven and place the turkey in a roasting pan. Keep the pan in the oven until the turkey is cooked. It is easy to keep the oven at the same temperature. If you use a thermometer, you shouldn't overcook your turkey. However, roasting takes time. Give yourself about 2.5 hours. I'm going to make a connection with this whole paragraph here. Roasting a turkey is the only way that I've ever cooked a turkey, so I'm pretty familiar with it. Can you think of some advantages of roasting a turkey? Pause here and think about that. I'm sure that you pointed out many advantages. First is that it doesn't require too many pieces of equipment. You really just need an oven, a roasting pan, and if you're feeling fancy, a thermometer. Also, another advantage or pro is that the text says roasting a turkey is easy. You don't need to be a professional chef or an expert cook in order to roast a turkey. Another advantage is that if you keep the oven the same temperature, you can set it and forget it. Let's read paragraph 3. Another way to cook a turkey is frying it in a deep fryer. This way is messy and sometimes dangerous. However, frying it will produce a juicy turkey with an extra crispy skin. I'm going to add a connection arrow here because eating the extra crispy skin on a turkey is my absolute favorite. So sounds like frying a turkey might be something I want to do. Let's keep reading. Another reason some people like frying is because it's fast. Instead of several hours, you can fry a turkey in approximately 30 minutes, but the cooking time may vary. I'm underlining approximately because it's a word that I am not really familiar with. Can you help me understand the meaning of approximately using context clues? Pause here and think of that. Oh, I'm sure you've come to the conclusion that approximately means an estimate, specifically an estimate of time in this case. The text is telling me that you can fry a turkey in approximately 30 minutes. That's an amount of time. But the text continues to tell me that the time may vary, so it's not an exact time. So approximately must mean an estimate. Thanks for helping me understand that word. Let's continue. To fry a turkey, get a large pot and a gas burner. Then fill the pot with oil and heat it using the gas burner. Once the oil is hot enough, drop the turkey into the pot using a wire basket or a hook. This is so you can take the turkey out once it's cooked. Be sure to fry your turkey outside. The oil and burner are a major fire hazard. If you're not careful, you can burn yourself or start a fire. Guys, I have a lot of thoughts reading the rest of this paragraph. My first thought is hazard. What does that mean? Can you help me out? Oh, are you telling me that hazard could be something dangerous? And your text evidence is that you could burn yourself or start a fire? Yeah. And you know what? This is interesting to me, so I'm going to add an exclamation point. It's interesting because I didn't know that frying a turkey could be so dangerous or require so many steps. While I do want that extra crispy crust, I don't know if I'm willing to go through all these steps listed of heating oil in a pot, using a basket and a hook to lower and pull out the turkey. That's so much. And not to mention the fact that I could get hurt. Maybe I'll have to find somebody to deep fry a turkey for me. Let's keep reading. Some people cook their turkey in a smoker. A smoker cooks food by burning wood or charcoal to produce a smoke. That's some key information. I'm glad they explained to me how a smoker works. Smoking a turkey takes much longer than roasting or frying, but it adds a unique flavor that you can't get by cooking any other way. Can you boys and girls help me understand the word unique? Pause here and think about what it could mean. Oh, unique means not like anything else. Well, what's your text evidence for that? Oh, your text evidence is that there's a flavor you can't get by any other way, by cooking it any other way. Great job. Apple wood and hickory are the most popular types of wood used for smoking. However, your turkey can have any smoke flavor that you want, depending on the wood that you used. I have a question here. Since the turkey takes on the smoke flavor of the wood that you use in a smoker, do you still have to season your turkey with herbs and spices? This might be something I have to research. But if you boys and girls know, go ahead and leave it in the private comments for me. To smoke a turkey, you need you will need a smoker, the wood for burning, and a lot of time. Since most smokers don't get very hot, it will take well over 6 hours to smoke a turkey. Can you think of a disadvantage or a con to smoking a turkey? Pause here and think about that. I think the major disadvantage that I see is that it takes 6 hours to smoke a turkey. Boy, oh boy, would I get hangry waiting that long for my turkey to be done. Let's finish off the text. There are many different ways to cook a turkey. While there is no right or wrong method, they each have advantages and disadvantages. Cooking time, safety, flavor, and cooking skills are some things to consider. To start, try cooking with a parent. It might help you decide which way you like best. I'm going to add an arrow here because I can make a connection. Growing up, I was always in the kitchen with my dad and mom and brother and sister. We always cooked together. And for Thanksgiving, roasting a turkey is what we always did. Maybe that's why I still roast today. Let's take a look at this photograph and caption here. I can see a turkey in an oven, and it looks like the chef is collecting juices. Let me read that caption. Basting is a process of pouring juices over meat while cooking to add flavor and keep it moist. Oh, so if I baste my turkey while it's roasting in the oven, I can make sure it's nice and moist. I always wondered why my dad did that and why I do it now. Now, I want to talk about informational text structures. This is the way an author organizes a passage. There are many different text structures. I'm going to go over them, and I want you to think about which text structure you think there's more than one way is. The first type is compare and contrast. This focuses on the similarities and differences between two or more people, places, things, or text. The next type is sequence. This tells events in the order in which they happened. The third type is description. Describes by presenting details that help the reader to visualize it. The fourth type is problem and solution. This explains a problem and shows how it is solved. The last text structure type is cause and effect. This discusses how an event causes something else to happen. Pause this video here and think about which text structure would you infer there's more than one way is. In the private comments, go ahead and tell me. If you said that the text structure of this passage is compare and contrast, you are correct. The text compares and contrasts the cooking times, equipment, safety precautions, and flavors for each turkey cooking method. They described all of this for roasting a turkey, frying a turkey, and smoking a turkey. Before we take a deeper look into these, let's talk a little bit more about comparing and contrasting and how we know that this text is a compare and contrast structure. Some signal words for compare and contrast include both, same, similar, different, and difference. An example would be, crocodiles and alligators are both reptiles. However, there are a number of differences. Crocodiles have a long V-shaped head, while alligators have a more round-shaped head. We can see here that the author describes something crocodiles have in common and something that they have that's different. If we take a look at the last paragraph of There's More Than One Way over here, we can find some of these signal words. There are many different ways to cook a turkey. While there is no right or wrong method, they each have advantages and disadvantages. Cooking time, safety, flavor, and cooking skills are some things to consider. The author here suggests that all of these things differ among the turkey cooking methods, and some might be similar. Let's dig deeper. When talking about the turkey cooking methods of roasting, frying, and smoking, let's think about how much time each took. Refer back to your text to describe to me how much time it took to roast a turkey, fry a turkey, and smoke a turkey. Pause right here. Roasting took about 2.5 hours. Frying took about 30 minutes. And smoking took 6 hours. These are very different. Now let's think about the equipment needed for each of these cooking methods. You can even think about the skill level needed in order to cook a turkey in these 3 different ways. Pause right here and think about what you need to roast, to fry, and to smoke a turkey. For roasting, you only need some cooking skills, not a whole lot. You need an oven and a roasting pan. To fry a turkey, you need some expert cooking skills because of how dangerous it is. You need oil, a gas burner, pot, basket, open field. It's a lot of equipment needed to fry a turkey. Much different than roasting a turkey. And to smoke a turkey, you need some medium cooking skills, a smoker, and some wood and charcoal for burning. Let's talk about the safety of roasting, frying, and smoking a turkey. Pause here to think of that. Well, roasting a turkey is very safe. We know frying a turkey can be very hazardous and messy. And smoking a turkey is also very safe. Roasting and smoking have this in common. They're both safe ways to cook a turkey. Finally, let's think about the flavor. Can you describe the flavor after cooking a turkey in each of these 3 methods? When you roast a turkey, it can be very moist when you baste it. Frying a turkey makes it juicy and extra crispy. And finally, smoking a turkey takes on the flavor of the wood and charcoal used to cook it with or smoke it with. Looks like roasting and frying have something in common here. They're both juicy and moist. Boys and girls, it is your turn. On Google Classroom, you will have this worksheet here. The first section, you will match vocabulary words with their meanings. The second section, you will use the text to answer the questions, making sure to restate, answer, cite text evidence, and explain if needed. This continues on to a second page. Before I set you free to answer these questions, I want to talk about the first question on the second page. This question is asking you to rate the methods of turkey cooking from least efficient to most efficient. Efficient just means to be as productive as possible, with little to no wasted money, resources, time, and effort. So the least efficient way to cook a turkey might take the most time or cost the most money or require an expert level of skills. While the most efficient might be quick, have less ingredients needed or less equipment needed, or doesn't take a lot of skill effort. Now that I've explained that question, it's time for you guys to show what you know.